The drama is finally over. Well, maybe not. Aaron Rodgers has made a decision. Where will he be playing in 2023? Moments ago on the Pat McAfee show, Aaron Rodgers finally said it. I want to move on. I want to play for the New York Jets. And now all indications are that he will be heading to New York when a deal gets done. But when and what will it look like? Aaron Rodgers was very clear. He's not holding anything up. He has told the Green Bay Packers and the New York Jets, this is where I want to be the quarterback next year. Now it's up to Green Bay and the Jets to get a deal done. And yeah, maybe they don't have a deal in place yet, but at this point, there's going to have to be one. Green Bay has no leverage anymore. They are going to have to trade Aaron Rodgers, and they're probably not going to get anything in return. But from a fantasy standpoint, what does this look like? This is going to change the landscape entirely for two different teams. Let's start with Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. Aaron Rodgers is going to a team where, honestly, he has better collective weapons than he has had in quite some time. The Jets have been working on the offensive side of the ball for a while now, and they have lots of weapons, but they just have never had a quarterback to utilize them properly. And yet, some of them were still pretty darn dynamic. Rookie of the Year, Garrett Wilson. This is a guy that is going to be the #1 wide receiver in this offense. And honestly, I don't care if Aaron Rodgers wants all of his guys on the team. Garrett Wilson's better than all of them. He'll stand out. There will be a question in the backfield for a while until we know more about Breece Hall. Coming off that ACL last year, I haven't really heard any negative reports on his rehab, so hopefully he's ready to go. But we know that Aaron Rodgers loved to utilize Aaron Jones, and Breece Hall is going to do the same thing. He's going to get lots of work out of the backfield, both catching the ball and running the football. Michael Carter's going to be a guy to watch, but only if Breece Hall doesn't get back to the start of the season healthy. But what about all the other parts? Because there's recently come out that there's a list of players that Aaron Rodgers wants to have with him in New York. And that list kicked off yesterday when Allen Lazard signed a 4-year, $44 million deal. Is Allen Lazard better than Elijah Moore? No, I don't think so. Moore is younger and he's more talented. However, Allen Lazard is signing with the New York Jets presumably because of Aaron Rodgers. And if Aaron Rodgers wanted him there, I assume he's going to be the wide receiver too. Not only that, but Randall Cobb apparently is on this list. Apparently he wants Mercedes Lewis to come in as well, and Odell Beckham Jr. So right now, trying to figure out the landscape of the New York Jets offense is going to be very, very tough to do. As the wide receiver 2 with Aaron Rodgers, Elijah Moore probably could have been a low-end wide receiver 2, high-end wide receiver 3 type of player. But now, I don't even know if he's going to stay in New York, and if he does, he's not going to have any fantasy value if they bring all these other guys in. Allen Lazard might be a red zone threat, but he's not going to be the #1 next to Garrett Wilson. Allen Lazard is going to be a very touchdown-dependent player this year. And Garrett Wilson, for me, has a lot of wide receiver 1 upside now. Definitely will find his way into my top 12 wide receivers before the start of the season. If Breece Hall is healthy, he's also a guy that I would lock into top 12 running backs. But again, we don't know if he's healthy or not. And as far as Odell Beckham Jr., Randall, Cobb, everybody else, we'll figure those things out if those people sign. I'm really hoping they don't bring Mercedes Lewis in, though, because I would like to see some more Tyler Conklin this year. But what about Green Bay? What does Green Bay look like? Jordan Love taking over as the starter. Now, in the few games that Jordan Love has found himself in, there hasn't been anything overwhelmingly positive with it. But that doesn't mean that he isn't ready to make that step. In fact, Aaron Rodgers on the Pat McAfee show had some glowing reviews of Jordan Love and said that he would be a great player, and he loved watching the progress that he made this past year and felt like he got a lot better. But he's stepping into a role where we're going to have a very, very young team now. Christian Watson is going to take a little bit of a knock for me. He's still a guy that I might take a look at in best ball, but he's going to be very streaky. We got the Doobs on the other side, Romeo Doubs. He's going to be a guy that could potentially help take a pretty decent role with the Green Bay Packers. As far as fantasy value goes, though, the only guy I really want to invest in right now is going to be Aaron Jones. I mean, think about it. No more Aaron Rodgers, and really needing to help Jordan Love is going to equal more opportunities for Aaron Jones. If he stays healthy, the amount of touches he gets on the ground and through the air could definitely give him a lot of RB1 upside. Now, a lot of you are not going to want to hear this, but he's basically been an RB1 anyway. Unfortunately, he has been streaky at times, but if we get him some more volume coming up, some of that consistency could come with it. I'm sorry, I know we heard a lot of you last year, but A.J. Dillon is another guy we're probably going to have to go back to, especially if he gives you a great draft day value. I mean, if the Packers really are going to run the football a lot more this year, him getting 200 carries would not be out of the question. So all in all, for Green Bay, Jordan Love for me, probably not a guy that comes close to quarterback one status. In fact, I couldn't really have him seeing that much better of a year than what Aaron Rodgers just did. Maybe in Superflex leagues, he's a guy we take a shot on later on as our quarterback 2, or even we hold him as like our quarterback 3 and keep him on our bench. For the weapons around him, Christian Watson, he's probably just a little bit too vulnerable for me to take in redraft leagues. Romeo Doubs is going to be the same way. What's going to be going on at the tight end position? And as far as A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon will be first up for me. Right now, I would value him as a low-end RB1, and then A.J. Dillon is a guy that absolutely could find himself some mid to low RB2 value. But now that the drama is coming to an end, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. How do we think Aaron Rodgers does in New York? What do you think about Jordan Love? Do you think he is absolutely the next guy up to lead the Packers into potentially another decade of dominance at the quarterback position? Also, before you get out of here, you got to hit that like button for me and subscribe down below if you're new to the channel. Appreciate everybody checking out this video. Stay safe and healthy, and I'll catch y'all on the next episode of the Fantasy Headliners.
Analytics off the chain, all the channels not the same.